This is Mainstream Metaphysics with your host, Nick Newmont.
Well, there, it is Wednesday in Los Angeles on another warm Wednesday afternoon in LA. Hi, I'm Nick Newmont, and welcome to Mainstream Metaphysics, live from Conejo Valley Talk Radio Studios in Westlake Village. And behind the scenes is my friend Ed Hunt, Hola. Manning the show. Hola to you, too. Tonight I want to have a little bit more of a fun show. Sharing information and show you some of the things that we, meaning Audrey and myself, have been up to. Hope you've had a good couple weeks. We were off last week, and we were literally up in Cambria shopping for crystals and shopping for the antiques that we make into the holiday candles, which you as an audience and friends and followers of the Newmont Center will see in the next couple months. Some really cool stuff that we got. And, Audrey and I have a lot of fun when we go on these buying trips. I mean, who doesn't have fun spending money, right? And those trinkets that we get end up in your homes. I want to give a shout out to my friend Brandon Fravel, who was on the show 2 weeks ago talking about training, seasonal training, and a lot about motivation and getting people motivated and to stay motivated, inspired when they're in a workout, nutritional kind of regimen. I got to tell you, he's very good at what he does. So if you're looking for a trainer, it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, check out Brandon. Because he's, like I said, he's good. When it comes to some of the things that we have going on at the Newmont Center, September 19th and 20th, that's a Saturday, Sunday, back-to-back, Audrey and a little bit of me is putting on a 2-day workshop where it's about the crystal art work that Audrey makes, and also scent and candle making. So if you want to have a lot of fun, mainly with Audrey, then let us know here, whether it's at the Newmont Center page, my page, or at Audrey's page, that you're interested, and people on our mailing list will get a formal invitation to this event. Audrey's really excited about doing this, and she's got some phenomenal ideas. How inventive and creative she is when it comes to candle making and artwork. Her artwork is just exquisite. And if you haven't been to the Newmont Center to see the pieces that she makes out of crystals and materials, you have really missed out. She is so talented. And do yourself a favor and treat yourself and come and visit us in Agora Hills, because we have some really cool stuff. So before we get, you can see the tips here of crystals. Before we get into this, I thought about, over the last couple of days, things that I would like to talk about more in the realm of healing and the energy work that we do at the Newmont Center and the work that we teach from very primary to advanced levels. If you're looking to become a form of healing practitioner, then our program will take you to as far as you want to go. And there's quite a few individuals that have studied at the Newmont Center that were very talented in their own right and went on to have excellent careers in the healing arts. And currently, some of the people that are in the classes are that level of talent and are going to have very significant careers as they go through. There's a lot of us that in the curriculum that are mature, and we've got some people that have started taking the classes in their 20s and 30s, and I'm really thrilled about that, because we need younger people to get into these curriculums and really, push forward, the the healing arts. When it comes to, being a healer, I think a lot of times people second guess themselves. And if I may, it's not so much about you being a healer. We use that phraseology. It's really being a conduit for divine energy. That when you figure out how to channel and bring energy through and allow it to pass through you, you're simply allowing the energy to flow in you, through you, and as you are spirit divinely guided to do this. I think sometimes people get caught up in figuring out how they're going to generate the kind of energy to, assist someone in the healing process. And if that was really what it was, then you drain your heart. And energy is coming through you, from beyond. That's what's happening. You're pulling that energy, that divine energy, out of the ethers. It's not your own energy. People might say, because of a mood you're in, that you might have good energy, which you probably do, but it's simply what you're bringing through you from source. So if you're concerned about you can't generate it, you don't have to generate. You just have to connect into it. The other thing about the classes that we teach at the Newmont Center, a few years ago we changed the phraseology to sentient healing. And the word sentient means consciousness. It also kind of means glowing too. And so when I first learned the work back in 1996, 1997 in there, it was called a crystal layout. And through time, I felt that to call the work we do, which is so multifaceted, a crystal layout, it simply is reflective of laying of stones. And what we do is so much more than using crystals and minerals and stones. In fact, we can actually do the work the way I teach it without any crystals whatsoever. The crystals are really an enhancement. It's the movement of energy that's really the important thing. So in sentient healing, the process is accelerated through energy fields into the fifth dimension, and therefore we are working on the soul level. We're not working in the physical body. We're working as the physical body expands into the energetic body and the auric body in the astral fields and the causal fields and the monadic planes. As we expand in consciousness, we're working in those outer fields. And so when we correct something in the energetic field, it filters back into the mind, the body, or the emotions, and creates change within that way. So if somebody came to me with a problem in one of the vital organs, I wouldn't work directly on it. I would work on the chakra that governs that part of the body. I would work in the outer field where the auric body projects itself. So I'm sure many of you have seen a lot of the Marvel movies, especially with, Tony Stark, Iron Man, and he has the computers where he's moving everything around and everything is expansive. That's what I see. I see your auric field expansive. So if there was something going on, with your liver, I'm not going to work here. I'm working way out in the field as to where that's projected, so I can shift the energy and actually see and feel what the blockages are and where the blockages are, and clearing them that way. And remember that in all the organs and all the body parts, there are emotions and mentalities that go with those afflictions. And having said that, coming up beginning Monday, September 14th, Audrey and I begin the 8-week series called Healthy Mind, Healthy Body. And it is not a typical mind-body course. It is very expansive. It's metaphysical as well as physical. So information, chakras connected into the physical body will be brought into that course. A lot of people have taken it. We have a lot of people that are already signed up to take it coming up. And the cool thing about Healthy Mind, Healthy Body is that you could be in our curriculum and take it, or you could be someone that's just off the street that's interested in that kind of course. You would be able to do it, even if you're not in the curriculum, and you'd be able to understand it. Audrey does a brilliant job of creating PowerPoints, so there's a lot to look at. She does a really good job that way. And then you can take the course live at the center, or you can Zoom it, and you will get the handout emailed to you or given to you there. So that's Monday, September 14th. We begin Healthy Mind, Healthy Body, and Audrey and I are both going to present that. So looking forward to that. And if you have any questions about that, you can respond here as I'm talking. And hello, Becca. See you said hi. Or you can email me at nnewmont@gmail.com. Or at the very least, email me so you can get on our contact list so you can get all the course and class information that we offer there. So dealing with and engaging this latest group of students that are going through level 1 of sentient healing and are wanting to get caught up with the group that's ahead of them, I give these people so much credit because we only had so much time and we have crammed 12 lessons into 8 weeks. And they have been diligent and brave and engaging and really have taken in a lot of information in 2/3 of the time that it normally would have been presented. And they're doing great. And there's a couple of those people that have practices in their own right that they don't know it yet, but I want to have them on the show so they can talk about what they do and how they do it and how the studies that they have at the Newmont Center is being integrated into what they do. And a lovely bunch of people. I can't wait to merge the two groups. I've said that so many times between both groups that are going to come together this fall. One of the things I've noticed too, and this is just part of everyday life, the Newmont Center has become quite the community of attracting people that truly are like-minded and conscious-minded and are looking to advance in their consciousness. And we've been meeting some of the most wonderful people coming through our doors that are participating in programs and bringing their friends in. When you aspire to consciousness, and I'm not going to say spirituality because that's a level way up, but when you aspire to consciousness and you put your intention on really creating and manifesting something, it's going to come for the right reasons. And when your intentions are so high in that, they're very energized. I don't mean they're high quality. They're just very energized. Spirit picks up on that, and we see the reflection in our lives of what we are putting out there. Over the past month, I put a lot of energy and airtime into that astrological formation, the Barbeau basket, that was taking place in late July, and of course, the 8/8 Lionsgate portal that went all the way until August the 12th. We had a powerful eclipse, total eclipse at that time. So we've been through some powerful astrological and planetary alignments. Are they done? Well, technically by degrees, yes, but that power that's been set in motion is going to continue for some time. This has momentum to it. So if you feel that, as I'm talking about setting intentions, if you think that's passed you by, no. Continue to set high intentions of what you want to attract to you. So we're in very powerful times that are correcting a lot of challenging times of the past 6 years. Now, when we're doing energy work and we are a conduit for this powerful divine energy, we as individuals become empowered and energized. People ask me all the time at the end of the day, are you tired after doing so many of these? And most of the time I'm not tired. I feel like I've worked a full day, but I don't go home, dragging like I'm, about to fall over. Not in any way, shape, or form. If anything, I feel that all these years of doing energy work has kept me pretty vitalized, and I can tell you that at my ripe young age, I don't have a lot of ailments or problems that contemporaries have. And everybody agrees that when we, as a collective, keep doing energy work, that keeps us youthful, and we're regenerating and recirculating and replenishing the cells by fresh energy flowing through. We're not stagnant, in any way, shape, or form. So if there is additional benefits to being an energetic practitioner, one is your own health and well-being. Keeping in mind that within reason you're maintaining yourself in health and rest and diet, nutrition, and exercise. Of course, that has to come into play. You can't take it one way and abuse your body and expect doing energy work, to correct that. There has to be a happy medium with that. And that's what I tell all my students when they get into this curriculum, that they have to, within reason, keep themselves in pretty good shape, that they are taking care of themselves, or else the work can be draining, and learning how to pace themselves and also balancing their lives. The phraseology for thousands of years of chakra balancing has been around, but that doesn't mean that you're taking a chakra, like some kind of device, like a spinning top, and balancing it in your hand. Chakra balancing means that you are balancing the 7 key areas of your life, moving from the root chakra all the way up to the crown. How you survive, how you create, how you sustain, how you love, how you communicate, how you idealize, and how you connect to spirit. And back thousands of years ago, people took time out of every day to participate in the 7 key areas of life. Nowadays, priorities seem to run amok, and that's why people's lives are out of balance or out of control, because we put so much time and energy and effort into a component of life and neglect other aspects of life. And the key thing that I hear so many people say is, I don't have time for that. And that's not a good thing. We need to make time for ourselves in all aspects of our life. Like hydrating, because it's hot outside. Right? Exactly. So, yes, self-maintenance. If you're going to get into energetic work, self-maintenance is key. And you do generate a lot of energy and heat through you when you're doing the kind of energy work that we do. So you do have to hydrate quite a bit, throughout the day. By the way, a little tip, you want to hydrate yourself, drink a lot of water before you go to sleep, because then your body absorbs it better for the next day. And of course, there's going to be people out there that say, well, if I drink a lot of water before I go to sleep, am I going to be up all night having to go to the bathroom? If your body really works on absorbing, in the way it should, then you're not going to wake up 2, 3, 4 times needing to use the restroom. So, keep that in mind. Now, the crystals. So in the process of the energy work, there is a time when we do put crystals on and around the body. And most of the time, and I've brought them on the show before, they are the crystals that are on the plates, the agate discs or the other kind of materials that we have deemed as chakra plates or intentional healing plates. As I said at the beginning of the show, you can do healing work without crystals, but they certainly are an enhancement, and they do have a vibratory response that interacts with the body. There's an electromagnetic field to your body. There's an electromagnetic field to all the crystals. And having crystals, in your home or in your office emanate various kinds of energies that are very beneficial. There's a type of crystal that we picked up just a couple days ago that is already gone. And I promise you that I will share the video of that crystal on my Facebook page so you can see it. And it's ruby and fuchsite, and it is big and glorious, and it was bought like that. Okay? So I couldn't even bring it to the show tonight to show you, and you would have lost your minds. But I will share the video on Facebook so you can see. When we get crystals, whether they're for your personal use, to put on you, to wear on your body, or to display in your home, your office, any room of the house, which those are called decorator crystals, there is a level of quality that I aspire to, and I have said for almost 30 years, that if it won't go in my house, it will not go in your house. If I feel the quality isn't there for whatever reason, I don't like it, I'm not buying it. I don't care what the price is, what the value is. It could be a rare stone, but if I don't like the vibe on the stone, it's not going anywhere. So in dealing with us, Audrey or myself, when it comes to crystals, you are going to get the best of the best of the best. And our prices are very reasonable. Way back when, those of you who've been around for a while, remember New Yorker magazine. And there was a cartoon in there that was about some kind of high-end retail store, and the cartoon shows the clerk behind the counter saying to the customer, our prices were unconscionable then and they're unconscionable now. And I always remember that because I've always worked in high-end retail throughout my life. Now, I make that joke because our prices are not unconscionable. They really aren't. Do we get into expensive things? Mm-hmm. We do. And do they get up into 4 figures? Yes, they do. None of what I have here tonight is that. But that ruby and fuchsite was 4 figures. So, you hear that, Ed, back there?
I know. I was thinking.
Yes, but we have so much fun. So I get to share some toys with you. All right. So, this... Oh, and we have the overhead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you the close-up here.
Okay. All right. So, the one we have here, all right, this is vanadinite. This comes from Morocco. And so picture is a little blurry because the little cubes of the vanadinite are small and they have a sheen to them. Vanadinite goes at the second chakra, and one of the things about vanadinite is it provides for the conservancy of money. So if you feel that you need to be a little bit more mindful with how you handle money, then vanadinite is for you. One of the things about crystals is they color-coded them in accordance with the chakras. So the root chakra, the one between the legs, is red. The sacral chakra, the one at your navel, is orange. The solar plexus, top of your stomach, is yellow. The heart chakra is green. The throat chakra is turquoise. Your third eye, your forehead, is blue. And at the crown, the top of your head, is violet. So this is a great second chakra plate. Okay, now I'm going to look at that. See, this is why we have to be careful with certain stones, because the matrix of it what the crystals are embedded in are delicate. Now this is rhodonite, okay, and this is a heart stone. It's so shiny that it's picking up on the lights, up above. Maybe if we pull back a little bit on it, that might help. It's shiny like a bowling ball or a billiard ball. Look at that. There, that helps. There we go. Yeah, this is a heart stone, and it's a sphere. So the cool thing about spheres, because the energy goes out at all directions simultaneously, this basically, if you could imagine, it basically glows energy. And this is for the heart chakra and the physical heart. In person, live, you can actually see the pink. It's showing up. The pink is showing up on camera as darker than what it really is, and of course it reflects the light quite a bit. There, you can see, and this is an off-white vein in the rhodochrosite. But great heart stone. Then, in keeping with heart, look at this. This is watermelon tourmaline, a natural setting of pink and green tourmaline in its matrix. This is gorgeous. It's a wonderful vibe. Turn it like this. There we go. And by the way, these are all for sale. So if you're interested in any of these pieces, let me know. Again, this is another heart piece. The pink tourmaline opens up the heart more, and the green tourmaline is very protective. So if you're in a place in your life where you want to be more open and vulnerable, but you're not sure of yourself, a watermelon tourmaline like this is a great stone for you, because it'll help you feel safe and opening up while you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable. And I must have really focused on the heart when I was pulling these stones. This is similar coloring to the rhodochrosite. This is called eudialyte. This piece comes from Canada. This also comes from Russia. And there was a much bigger one that we brought back, and one of the clients saw it and got it immediately. This empowers the heart chakra, creates confidence in the heart, especially in decision making. Yep, eudialyte from Canada. This is, and by the way, eudialyte is not very common. We have this at the center in plates that are about this big, that you can glue small crystals on and use as a heart chakra plate. And then another heart chakra stone that by mineral looks similar to the vanadinite. This is dioptase, and again with the light it's showing darker than it really is. It looks like emeralds. It's not emeralds. Dioptase comes from countries in South Central Africa or Kazakhstan. The vibe of dioptase is very light. It's very joyful. It brings fairy energy into the heart. And we have this in much smaller pieces too. But it is a brilliant, vibrant green. This is a stellar specimen of dioptase. and not to be confused with diopside. That's a different stone. But this is gorgeous. Very, very well-defined cubes of the material in it. Okay, then we go to anything which would be crown or third eye. This is celestite, and celestite comes in giant geodes. A lot of times we see amethyst geodes. Well, this is celestite, but in this case, this is a polished egg. What's inside, which it's kind of challenging to see, are those beautiful sky ice blue generators in there. Because it's celestite, comes from Madagascar. It's very celestial, very angelic. It's a great kind of stone to use while meditating. We have several of these that we got in our last buying trip. In fact, we have one that was too big to bring in here that is about this big and this deep. And a lot of times a geode will sit on its side so you're looking in this way. This big geode that we received is big and you look down into it. And there's a hole in the side, so whoever gets that, if they light that in there, that whole celestite is going to glow. Now, celestite has a very calming energy to it. It puts you in a good frame of mind to meditate and to connect on a higher level. And something like this would sit on, there are little plastic rings or gold rings that you can get, and would sit up like this or sit on a stand of some kind. Because the way this is made and carved, it's not going to stand up. But these are gorgeous. All right, then, oh yeah, wait, there's more. Okay, so this is azurite. And azurite, there's a little bit of green in there, and that's malachite. You can see that it shows up, and you can see how it flakes a little bit, even as I'm touching it. Azurite is very good for the third eye or the throat, and this is an excellent specimen of azurite. For those of you that are creative, especially those of you that are writers or have aspirations into the entertainment industry, this opens up the throat and the third eye in a just powerful way. So if you need something to assist you while you're working in a creative way, this is a great piece to have on your desk, near your computer, or wherever you do your creative work. You know, I'm going to try something. Bear with me, Ed. Here.
Okay.
Let me see here. Hey Siri, turn on flashlight. Whoa, look at that. Oh, and it turned off.
Here, I'll get you a light. Hold on. I got a really bright light. Hang on a second.
Yeah, we're going to light this up a little bit more. Yeah, this is one of the more creative stones that we have.
Just hit the end of that. It's 1,000 lumens. No, just push it. Just push the button. Look, here, let me get to real fast.
Ah, there we go.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's almost too much. If you push it twice, it'll go down to 500. Nope, one too many. One less. There you go.
There we go. That's good. Now you can see how lustrous that azurite really is.
Yeah, beautiful.
Now you're really seeing the color as it is. There we go.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. This is magnificent. So here's what we get to do. We're going to backtrack a little bit. So here's the celestite egg. So see, now you can see down in there more. See if there's anything crawling around in there, Ed. Yeah. Now you can see the true quality and the depth of it. And let's bring the dioptase back in. Glorious heartstone.
Oh, yeah,
Look at that.
Wow.
See how gorgeous this stuff is? This is one of my favorite heartstones. Dioptase. Now you're seeing how bright and brilliant that green is. I'll bring the eudialyte in and see if we can light that up. See, now you're seeing the colors that you couldn't see before. You see the depth of the magentas and the off-whites in there.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yep. Absolutely gorgeous. I'll bring the vanadinite back in. Oof. Heavy. Look at that.
Nice.
Look at that orange. This stuff is just exquisite. All right. And then, of course, the rhodochrosite sphere. Now you can see those colors so much better.
Wow.
See how light.
Beautiful. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, gorgeous. All right. Then, most of the time we see halite as, pink. It comes from the lakes in Central California. Hi, Audrey. Audrey's watching. This is blue halite from Poland. This material is extremely hard to get. Extremely. And I found it with one of my vendors, and I got it right away. It is a throat chakra stone, but first and foremost, this is a thyroid activator. When people have Hashimoto's or anything like that, look at that. So beautiful. And this is a pretty nice sized specimen. The one I have that I work with is about that big, like 20% the size of this. Look how the light shines through there like that.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. And then I bought a bunch of these. This is amethyst, definitely, but this isn't typical amethyst. Yes, it's from Brazil, and a lot of great amethyst comes from Brazil, definitely. But this is from the Bahia region of Brazil. And this type of very unclear amethyst is an celestial amethyst. And a lot of times we see celestials in smoky quartz, in regular quartz, and celestials are used as karma identifiers to help recognize karma and help clear karma. And so people that sell these call them amethyst teeth, amethyst roots, because they do. They look like a big tooth. But because they're celestials, which is not a typical amethyst, I've deemed this wizard's amethyst. Yes, it does look kind of like a scepter. When you shine the light like that, it looks like I'm making it glow. It lights up. because this is to be used in healing as a generator or a directional tool. And we got a handful of these. So, like I said, I like to call it Wizard's Amethyst, because it brings out that sort of ancient, mystical, kind of wizard vibe. I'm not going to go publicly and have anything changed or named Wizard's Amethyst. It's just what I'm going to call it. I like working with these because they're pretty potent. They're sizable, not too heavy, but if you're gonna work with something, you have to get used to being in shape, because when you're doing the process that's called beaming and drawing, where you're going inside a chakra and clearing it, your hand is going to be on that for some time, moving within the realm of the chakra and clearing the negative energies out of there. So you better do some curls if you're going to work with something like that. And that's not 16-ounce curls. Sorry. That's real curls with weights. Then one of our favorites at the Newmont Center, and I know Audrey loves this. This is labradorite. And labradorite opens up the crown, opens up the third eye. And look at that. Is that just so cool?
Stunning.
Yep. And that's natural like that. So you're picking up the greens, the grays, the blues. Labradorite is a combination of minerals that have come from outer space and blended with natural earth minerals. Get this off of there. There we go. Look at that. So sometimes people sort of fall out of place with time. Their timing is off, and that means the grids, your ley lines, are displaced. So when you use labradorite on the body, around the body, what happens is it puts the grids back, and also labradorite helps a person catch up with time or jump time. So if you're one of those people that says, I don't have enough time, then using labradorite adjusts your grids so you're focused on what you're doing and not the timing of it. Or if you know someone that is challenged with time, where they don't manage time very well, labradorite is good for them. I know people like that. So, yeah, it's a very beautiful stone. It comes in small pieces. We have several pieces like this, so it stands up. So it is a decorator piece. Some of those blues really show up so beautifully. So there are crystals for so many things and so many uses. That, you name it. So instead of the dirty paper, we'll bring back in the watermelon tourmaline. We'll light that up a little bit like that. Now you can really see that. Yeah, it's downright gorgeous. And tourmaline is very soft and loving. When you use it on yourself, it slows everything down to a nice pace. If things feel out of control, watermelon tourmaline brings everything back to sort of a calm pace. It quiets the heart. Look at that. And this is just a sampling of some of the pieces that we have now available at the center. When we go crystal shopping, I'm like a kid in a candy store with this stuff. We have so much fun. getting things, and we look forward to, where they're going to go, who ends up with them. Now, Audrey will ask me at times, who do you think's going to get this? Or there's times I'll be hot on a certain piece, and it may be pricey, and she'll say, do you have a buyer for that? And I'll say, not yet, but it's going to find a home. And when crystals and minerals are that glorious, they just speak. And a lot of times people feel the crystal calling to them, that feeling of they just have to have it. So many times, and you could be watching and saying, well, what crystal's good for me? Well, they're all good for you. It's when you get in the presence of the crystals, then it's a matter of, what calls to you. That's really the key. When you feel drawn to a crystal, I like that phrase, the crystal calls to you. When you feel drawn to a crystal, then you know that's for you. And a lot of times people don't understand because there are, of all the classes I teach, there's a lot of crystal information. And out there are incredible crystal books. And so when you read a book like this with all the information that's in there, and there are so many different definitions that could go with a crystal, like for instance, when you get into tourmaline, and it differentiates. So, and I want to talk about this book in a second. So, tourmaline works with each chakra, okay? But what about blue tourmaline, black tourmaline, green tourmaline, multicolored tourmaline, orange tourmaline? Look at this. Watermelon tourmaline. Okay, that's this. It's a super activator of the heart chakra, providing for stimulation, energizing, and connection with the heart chakra of the higher self. It encourages one to look past the seriousness of an experience or a situation and to recognize both the benefit of and the humor in the experience or situation. It helps one to allow oneself the experience of the beauty of nature while diminishing emotionalism. It enhances cooperative efforts and inspires tact in all situations. Used in the treatment of nervous disorders of the heart and the lungs. As I said earlier, it has a calming effect to it. The other thing about the watermelon tourmaline is it has a lighten up quality to it. So this book, Love is in the Earth, by a woman named Melody, is out of print, and it has been for a number of years. And I wish I had known years ago that it was going to be out of print, because there's a much bigger version of it that's a compendium. It's much larger and has a lot of pictures in it with each crystal. This is by far the best, most complete crystal mineral book, that's out there. And like I said, they don't print it anymore, which is a shame. Now, you can get this, and there are supplements that go with this, or you can find the compendium. That compendium, when it first came out, was $99. You may pay on eBay, Etsy, any of those, as much as $500. But if you can find that book, it's worth every penny of it if you are a crystal and mineral enthusiast. And even these are good. Even though this doesn't have pictures, it still has some of the best descriptions that you'll read in any crystal book. A few months ago, my daughter Serena's walking through her neighborhood, and a guy was having a yard sale and putting things out, and one of these was in the box that he was getting rid of. And she grabbed that faster than you can imagine, because she knows how special the Love is in the Earth books are. There are a supplement that goes with that has the pictures, and there's two other supplements that were follow-ups to that that are smaller, and they don't duplicate what's in there, but they have the pictures and the text. And then finally she did the compendium, which is hardcover, and the thing is like a massive encyclopedia. It's 700 some pages, if not 800, and it is literally that thick. If you can find that book, get it. In the classes that I teach, I give out a lot of good information on the crystals and how they're used, and that's whether with a chakra, the physical body, the placement of a crystal in your home or the wearing of it. I even get into where on the body something should be worn. If something is a little too volatile of an energy, not to wear that above the waist, or how to use that in the healing process. Certain chakras are more sensitive than others. So you can certainly have a lot of fun with them. And I think I mentioned on my show a couple weeks ago that, one of our dear friends who was one of our great purveyor of rare crystals, David Geiger, had passed away on July 21st. And I've got to tell you, in so many ways, just first of all, his personality, David is already sorely missed for who he was and what he knew and what he provided. He was a rarity, and there's not a lot of folks out there in the crystal realm like David. And he wasn't just selling crystals. His heart and soul was in those crystals. He loved them, believed in them, and I learned a lot from him years ago about different kinds of crystals, especially the rare ones that we are fortunate enough to have and still have. And there's certain crystals that I keep in a private collection that originally for sale, and I don't know at this point that I will sell them. I think I'll just hang on to them because I don't know how some of those things we would get again, like euclase and phenakite and some of those, zincite and zircon and things like that. You're just not going to find them in your corner crystal candy store. I'm serious about that. Ed's laughing back there, but no, this stuff just doesn't show up. It's true collectors that have this. Soon, our friends that are overseas will be back with another collection of lapis lazuli in the bigger size. That's probably, we have a lot that are small to medium size. And when I say medium size, I mean like this. That's what I mean by medium size. But we're getting a lot of lapis that's book size. That's what I mean by larger, the size that makes an impact. And again, we have so much more than this. This is, and Ed will laugh, this is what we are able to carry in. I had other bigger pieces in the car that there's no way in the world we were carrying those in here. And on top of it, this tabletop is on a stand, and it's not the most stable. Your table isn't stable, Ed.
I know.
And amongst other things.
Yes, exactly.
So we couldn't bring them in, but they will be on display. And Audrey, with her gifted eye and photography work, will be putting pictures up on Facebook, Instagram, and our private emails and things of that nature. So if you want to learn about crystals, there is a lot that I can share with you. In the fall, we will present the intentional healing workshop. That's a full Saturday or Sunday, and in that we talk about intentions regarding healing, a lot of how-to, a lot of ethics in the healing process. And the handout is more the reverse that day. The handout in intentional healing, instead of going A to Z, amethyst, ametrine, like that, is an emotion, a body part, some kind of aspect of you, and then it lists the crystals that work on that attribute or problem or body part. And look for that announcement, because that's where you learn to make the chakra plates for healing, and have an opportunity to witness some of the most beautiful crystal collections on the planet. So, having said that, we're almost at a point where we are going to say good night for now. I will be back next week. Oh my God, we're almost at the end of August. I will be back next week. Haven't determined guest or just myself, but there's also, if Becca's watching, she'd know what I'm talking about. I'm working on a tarot spread that is deeply astrologically influenced but pertaining to your chart. Now, I know out there's books and online of people that do tarot spreads, and you lay it out in a wheel, but it's based on the natural positions of Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and so forth. This is going to be this reading is tailored to your chart, not the general positions, and that's what's going to make it unique and different. And I'm going to leave it there, because I've already experimented with it, and it's pretty powerful. I think that's the perfect tease at this point. Right, Ed?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think for now, I'm going to say thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you do turn out for some of the healing classes and workshops that we present. We have great things coming up. And if you'd like to interact and rub elbows with like-minded people of consciousness, please come and visit us at the Newmont Center. See what we're all about. You don't have to make an appointment. You don't have to buy anything. Just come and see what we do there. And I think you will be amazed, because the vibe there is very, very special. And I'm a little biased on that, but everybody says that. They love how it feels there. So again, thank you for watching. I am Nick Newmont. This is Mainstream Metaphysics, coming to you from Conejo Valley Talk Radio Studios in Westlake. Thanks again, and remember, as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other. See you next week. Have a good night, everyone.